She's back. Those heads. The cost, when you can, it's an over the side. You get on 15, and so it's still 50. Yeah. Nice. Patch. Each lesson to the. Yeah, some of them are like, 90% of the whole clients. A lot of you do that.
Right, yeah.
I would do that for sure. Some minutes. And it's plenty, and then you begin, the old Chapel Street, there's all the cars in there.
Yeah, you almost like on school like.
Well, I guess we might have to see what we got.
Michael, welcome. Thanks. I would say, oh, the roof is great. Yeah. Like your mother-in-law's.
Mother-in-law's great.
Oh, excellent. Thanks to you there.
At 93, except this
93?
93 years old, lives independently, reluctantly accepted a little bit of help 5 days a week for a few hours, but she honestly doesn't know what to do with her.
Yeah.
But you know, it's in her case, a lifetime beating, you know, there's no vices. I can't claim.
My mother-in-law is 93, lives independently in the same house that they built 60 years ago, that my wife was born in.
Wow.
No help.
Wow.
She drives. She's as sharp as a whiz. I mean, it's beyond amazing. So I help her with things around the house. I'll go there and help with construction projects and painting. The 1.5 she pays me back, but she needs to pay me back. She makes me sauce. Grandma, her mother's recipe.
Nice.
She makes containers of sauce that we freeze.
Nice.
Pasta sauce.
Actually, no.
I'm gonna tell you, it's like, you don't even want the pasta, it tastes so good.
Is that so cute? She's so
Oh,
cute.
that's sweet. It's a good assistant. Yeah, put some sauce.
Now, you know, for Lana,
We are live, but the owl is pairing to the.
it's not pairing to the feed because I'm. seeing-
There's, they have to see each other for whatever reason.
I'm sorry, but we can't hear you guys. Do you want me to try to go out and come back in?
Oh, interesting.
You know, it's working.
I don't know.
Well, the red light just went on.
Yeah, so it's not muted there, we know on this side.
I have no clue. This is, you know, we don't really have a way to test it anymore, do we? All right,
I'm just looking on YouTube, see if I can get any sound.
okay.
I still can't tell whether the owl is connected, but. There's usually the achievement here and I can't see it, that's doing that. There's usually the achievement here and I can't see it.
Yeah, so now it's working. The world is full of mysteries. I did notice the red light go on at one point. That's,
Yeah, I noticed it sometime, I don't know, maybe it was when Dad was still here and I couldn't see going on fast enough, but.
it's just
It's stupid.
well, yeah, exactly. Well, let's press on to HPC 2406. This is Claire Hussein at 12 Plattekill Avenue. It is a landmark property. She's doing a pretty straightforward, basically like for like window replacement, but there are enough differences that we thought it appropriate to do an application. Milla's really been on the forefront of this, helping her, as we mentioned earlier in the meeting, choose an off-white color for the window trim, and you also helped her with the simulated divided light question, the initial ones.
Yes, because initially, they chose windows that have doors between, the glass panes. And, we don't really encourage that. So we talked about the benefits of having exterior mountains, not just because we would prefer that, but also because if they ever want to change the colors of the mountains, they would have that choice.
No, that's a
Because
great point.
That's a
Yeah,
very good,
that's- I've heard of people who try to remove the mountains from between the glass panes. This
Choice,
way,
yeah. Yes, that's the
because
end.
they just
Yeah.
didn't know that that was not possible. So
Um,
that's definitely a benefit. And the window that we talked about in the dining room, Claire will put a glass pane on the inside in front of the window, kind of like what they did at Elting Library, the historic windows. It's a glass pane that's kind of silicone and
oh, so it's permanent.
it's permanent,
Okay.
yes. And that will prevent anybody from trying to, open the window or
Right.
operate it in any way. And that
We-
way they will be able to preserve the.
Shade, I've never seen this.
That's nice,
I think.
historic window.
Oh, yeah,
This is the one that just isn't replaceable.
yeah,
Yeah.
yeah,
Um,
it's,
Right, the one with that.
Yeah, with the
Plus
diamonds.
on the sides will be replaced, but one in the middle with the detail that will be preserved.
And that's, to your credit, Camilla, for spotting that as a issue, right? And to Claire's for agreeing to see that.
But she was happy about it because then she doesn't have to buy.
That's right, she's gonna save only one. But it also, it's such a nice nuance, it's a detail that we're really trying to preserve. And I think otherwise, not otherwise, everything about what you've done is an improvement, and it's nice to work with an applicant who understands that.
Her contractor was there also and he will repaint the windows in the back that were already replaced to match the trim color.
That's good. That's really good. One of those windows, this goes back 8 or 10 years probably. There was a problem with an egress window, which we solved by permitting on the back side the casement window with the one mounted, sorry, terminology, the horizontal
Yeah, like the meeting rail.
meeting rail, thanks. A fake meeting rail, just to kind of keep the aesthetic, but she got I think it was even in Agnes's day, maybe. I think it was brand new, clear, and she was doing a conversion, needed an egress window, which she was never gonna get with sash windows, but that seemed like a pretty clever solution that worked. So with that in mind, is there any more discussion before we entertain a motion to approve these replacement windows?
Well, I mean, I looked at these windows online, like the Muntins, the divided lights, they will be exterior of the glass, right? Because I'm just not seeing it on their website. The description of the Muntins that they say are in between the glass, but I guess that must be an option that they're not showing on the manufacturer's website.
Yes, probably because I asked Claire if the specifications would be any different from what she submitted before, and it's just that the mountains will be on the exterior.
Okay.
Okay.
Let's make sure to get that in our approval though.
Yeah.
if we-
Yes.
You know,
That the simulated divided light
Yeah,
and not grills between the
not
glass.
reels between.
yeah, because, yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
That was it.
Good point.
Anything else, Shane?
No, that
I'm
was
glad you
it.
brought it up, because then we can put it specifically in the law.
No, I mean, I think, it would be nice to see like a detail of the Muntin, just because since they're gonna be
Yeah.
next to the existing window that's gonna remain. But I don't wanna like nitpick and make this difficult, but it's.
But
It would-
Shane, one thing we could say is that it's the same dimension, because when you order windows, you could get different size mounts.
Yeah, I mean, typically,
So
but
we could specify it to be the same dimension as the existing.
yeah, I mean, if that's.
And
an option-
profile,
Yeah, and the profile, if possible, I mean, I guess.
As close
as close as
Yeah.
possible.
Yeah, I mean, that's what I was hoping to find on the website, but they didn't really give any detailed information on the Muntin size or profile. But yeah, I think we're on the same page, like especially since that middle window is gonna remain.
There's something. to
Ideally,
match.
they're, more or less the same size and profile, and obviously, living in the same relationship to the glass. So
Yeah,
if we can get clarification on that.
I know that the replacement windows in the back, they have a thinner mountain.
Yeah.
Profile line.
Yeah, we
which
were
one that
asking
is
those-
something that
we weren't
I
asking
pointed out.
questions in the same way 10 years ago.
Yeah, I mean, usually they're like 5/8 or 7/8, like those are usually the only two sizes, but I mean. That's a 1/4 inch, if the windows are right next to each other, you see the difference,
Yeah.
and especially, to George's point with profile too. I mean, they seem like minor things, but
Yeah. when
again,
it's-
since the windows are gonna be
When
right
they're-
next to each
when
other,
they're side by
you'll be
side.
able to see the difference, so.
Yeah.
Yeah, and there's no difference in cost, it's just a matter of the owner ordering. the proper
Exactly.
Correct.
Yeah,
Right.
No,
exactly. Yeah.
So let's, is there a motion to approve with kind of the anticipation that we'll bake in those specifications?
Unless we ask her to come back in October.
Do you have a sense of what her timeline is?
She would like to replace the windows before the winter.
I think we better, why don't we just think about an approval with conditions rather than ask you to come back? I just
Yeah.
feel like this one got drawn out in,
I agree.
Yes,
are you comfortable with that? You can just make it.
yes.
Yeah.
Okay, how about a motion to do that then?
Okay, I'll
Shane
move to approve.
moves, George second. All those in favor? Okay, so just to be precise, we are approving with the condition that the Muntin profile and width be matched as closely as possible. And sorry, Shane, the other
I think that was, I
Do
think.
we want to talk about the meeting rail? That's probably gonna take care of itself.
No, but I think we're moved away from that, right? Because we're not doing the casement anymore.
Yeah, you're right, so.
Yeah.
Oh, because we were gonna have a full meeting rail to make it
No,
look like a
these will
double
be-
window, but
these
these
will
are
be-
double hung now, right?
Yeah, these are double.
Yes, so I think, so I don't think that's an issue anymore.
Okay. And then we're accepting the solution for an interior glass panel, that's part of the approval. And I think that's it. But those are mandatory conditions. Camilla, are you comfortable kind of being our representative as this moves ahead and just making sure they understand that? You already have a nice relationship with clients. Okay. I'm sorry, did we just vote or did we just vote to? We did, sorry, short-term memory problems.
Yeah.
So 5-0 approved. Thank you, Shane, for,
Yeah,
making that.
I mean, I haven't written this window guideline yet, so.
Well, we just need to get together and bang it out.
Yeah.
Let's press on with just a few more things for tonight. So just to recap, 147-49 and 151 North Chestnut. I'm going to reach out to Zach, ask how he thinks best to coordinate meeting with the applicants, maybe with the presumption that we invite them to October's meeting. I think it's October 16th.
First,
21st, yeah, October 21st meeting. But if he advises otherwise, I think we just go with his advice. Item number 3 under updates and discussions. So overall good news on the railroad history initiative or project. Harry Dungan reached out to the director of the Wallkill Valley Land Trust, and I reached out to the mayor. Both are in favor of the project. I would say Wallkill Valley Land Trust very enthusiastically in favor. And Christie thought she even had some ideas for getting funding. So that's all good. Number 2 is that the mayor likes the idea. There was no offer of money, but I still think there might be some in-kind help when it comes down to it. The projected budget for phase 1, which would be just getting the tracks in and getting some signage, is somewhere in the neighborhood of 20 to 30,000 to buy more rail than we would be getting in donation. A lot of ties, the hardware to attach the ties to the rails, and some budget for the gravel bed and the signage. And they're just, that number's really wide because some of that could be in kind, some of that could be used material versus new. But that's for a projected 200 feet of track, which would basically go the length of the station. And then the last thing is we got a nice boost from the New Paltz Community Foundation that is willing to serve as the nonprofit conduit for a fundraising effort that would not be conducted by the Community Foundation, but they would be sort of the bankers. And why that's so important is getting a nonprofit started is really expensive, takes a long time versus what the Community Foundation can offer, which is like the next week. If the conditions are satisfied, they can start collecting on behalf of some new organization that doesn't have nonprofit status. So that's all good. Where the 20 or 30,000 comes from, honestly, I don't know. I mean, it's not coming from this commission or from the village. So it's gonna have to be railroad enthusiasts like Terry, and maybe he has circles of people who would get behind this. I could imagine that there might be some community groups. I could even imagine that the town's preservation fund might kick in something. The new thing that's based on real estate transactions has got some money now, and I think they would be open to at least hearing a pitch. So, I think our role is important but not central to this. And that's what I've tried to convey to Terry is that, you know, we seem to be, I think we're all supportive of the idea, but the money can't come from us. The fundraising town can't come from us. It's just, you know, we're there to support it.
So the project estimates include just materials, or they include the actual labor involved in moving existing ties and getting other materials and installation?
Yeah, a lot of that, there's also potentially some engineering work that would have to be
Sure.
done. I mean, it's a real ballpark. I didn't,
Yeah, but, and then what about storage of the existing materials until all of that money gets raised?
yeah, the village so far doesn't seem keen on the idea of storing those donated rails.
Yeah, even at the sewer plant.
Well, yeah, even at the sewer plant, but I'm not positive that's the final answer.
Okay.
I mean, I think we could persist on that. And then the alternative would be to deposit them in the location intended and somehow chain them to something.
Could also possibly check with the town or the county. If the town highway department possibly, or the county near the pool has,
Good call.
but
Yeah,
I have no idea if either of them would have any interest in space to serve as a storage area, but it's possible. I mean, they don't have to be indoors or protected, they can outside.
No, they can certainly be outside.
They just need to be in a safe place.
Yeah, Terry's worried that, you know, they've got pretty significant scrap value. They're like 450 pounds per section, so.
Oh, is that what they are?
Yeah, so there's some money. But somebody would also have to lift 450 pounds at 20 feet long.
Yeah,
Oh,
steel.
yeah, a little forklift or something.
Yeah,
yeah, so you want it in a secure place.
yeah, but those are great. I mean, the town.
The town
our
has a lot of
has
space there.
space out
That's a
there.
great idea.
Yeah. I
Um,
mean, the sewer plant is nice because it's fenced in and it's occupied, so
right,
people basically know who goes in and out of there.
yep, and it's nearer,
secure.
nearer the site.
But if they can't, if they had not wanted to do it there, the town might be an option.
That's a big deal. So that's that. Number 4 is the recent meeting with Mayor Rogers. George was present at that meeting. I think that there are a couple of things going on, but what's really at the top of my list is we need much greater clarity about what our role is in the downtown area. It's not really a district. We tried for that. And I thought we had it, but we didn't. But what the current arrangement is, we're supposed to be consulted for any exterior work except like for like within the NBR, and the business district and the gateway district. And there is language in the code that says that, but somehow that doesn't seem to be translating into things like this siding project where there was some disconnect about that. So in this meeting, Tim Rogers pointed out where in the code that language is, and I think it just sort of falls to us to make that absolutely clear to the building department. And he also suggested that maybe in the next water bill, which is about 3 months from now, because we just got one, we could do an insert to the affected addresses and just make this clear to people within those districts that have to consult and just spell it out. If you're doing siding, if you're changing the trim, if you're doing anything with windows, we need to consult them. And maybe that solves the confusion.
Is there like a map we can include, like the building permit application? If your property is within this area, just have it right on the building permit application, then it triggers HPC review.
Yeah, there was at one point, the computer kind of flagged or tagged certain addresses that then would generate, look, you know, almost like a flag would pop up to say HPC review needed. I'll have to talk to Mike Baden about that and just see what the software is. This is years ago that I was told that, but that's great, you know, just like it should trigger
Yeah.
that. one of the tricky things though is at the moment siding doesn't require a permit. It, as Tim said, it's treated like paint and it's not, you know, it's just, that's a problem with how the code reads. It's a permanent change in a way that paint isn't. So all of this is a way to say that like this is an ongoing discussion. I think Mike Beatty needs to get, or we need to connect, I need to connect with him and that also sort of covers 0.5. So the work that you did, Michael, with the code revisions is sort of on his desk now, but we didn't express a particular sense of urgency, so I'm sure it's kind of there.
The building on Main Street that you referred to, I thought I heard somebody say that there had been a building permit. And that for some reason it didn't happen, or what? No, it didn't.
It's 62 million?
Yeah, it didn't require a building permit.
Didn't require,
It did not require one.
no,
Obviously. Okay.
because of what Tom was saying with siding.
Right.
They treat it as paint.
Right. Okay.
Which is wrong.
And that's a little loophole.
Yeah,
That we
okay.
have to correct.
All right, so it wasn't like the building department, this, it was, they didn't have to go to the building department. Okay.
Right. And yet, interestingly, they did, or the owner did, but he was asking a different question, I forget. It might have been about like where he could store the material, there was something other.
Okay.
Or
He
it
didn't
was
go there for-
scaffolding.
He didn't go there for a permit.
No, he didn't, I think he was asking about scaffolding on Main Street or some related thing.
Didn't the mayor say that we were covered with vinyl siding? Because there's a little section that says any change to the exterior of the building, which will include siding,
That's right,
would cover that problem.
yeah,
And we were gonna look into that
yeah,
and check that. And if that's the case, we just have to make the building inspector aware of that,
that's right.
right?
And possibly get in there and, you know, tweak the code.
That's,
The mayor's reluctant to do that because that's lawyers' hours, you know, it's a big process to change the
but
code.
if we're covered with that statement, it's just a matter of clarifying with the building department.
Yes, it
Right?
becomes an
That's very
administrative
simple, yeah.
understanding, yeah. Yeah, the current language says no structure shall be constructed, moved, or demolished, nor the exterior of the structure altered in these three districts, nor any land improved or developed unless such action is approved by the planning board and reviewed by the HPC in accordance with these other
Is
provisions.
that in zoning?
Is section 212.13. At least that's it, that's the NBR version, but
Yeah.
the language is supposed to be the same all the way through.
Do you feel that covers?
I guess it does.
I mean, it's 99%.
Yeah, I think you're right. I mean, this is kind of what we said with the mayor is that, you know, you can spend a lot of money and lawyer time putting it in the code, but if you also approach it as an administrative understanding, then all you have to do is talk to the building department
Yeah.
and make sure that they understand, and then maybe do some outreach to people in that district so that they're not skipping over that.
Well, I'm all for the letter in the
Yeah,
water bill.
that's,
I think that's a great thing. And
Yeah.
it's free, it's just a matter of generating the letter.
yeah, we just need 100 copies or
Yeah.
whatever. And let's, you know, we can try that. We can always take it up to the next level if that somehow isn't working. So I'll report back. I will hope to have something to report in October on that. Budget report, as you can see, looks good. We're a little bit under target, which is kind of our usual way. I have done nothing about the pilot episodes of the oral history recordings, but I intend to do that. I realize this is about the 8th time I've said that, but
I think I have you beat.
well, we'll keep working on both. So the design guide and the C are just kind of out there. It's all right, we'll get it done. Partners in preservation, I was wondering if we could take a minute or two. It's not too early, given that we've got only October, November, probably not December to decide this for this year. Maybe start thinking about candidates, but I also think that maybe we do that in executive session rather than like our deliberations for the
Yes.
public. Other business 7D is that the interactive map site is live again, which is great. Thank you for noticing that. I didn't know that. We've already done the North Chestnut Street. Is there anything, oh, I'm sorry, there's one other tiny bit of new business I wanted to remind you of. Today I shared with you an announcement for a lecture that's happening around the Ann Oliver House and the Margaret Wade Lewis Center. I thought potentially you'd be interested in that. I don't at this point know how much of the lecture is about the vision for the Margaret Wade Lewis Center, how much is about the house, but I suspect at least a little bit. So that is September 26th. Any other new business? So just a reminder that we're bumping back to third Monday in October, which gives us even more time shade to get that thing done, which maybe we can really do. If there's no new business, let's have a motion to adjourn. No one wants to lose.
I make a motion to adjourn.
Blissful sign. Moved by George,
Excellent.
seconded by Camilla. All those in favor? Aye.
Nice.
Great. Thank you.
Thank you, Tom.
Good meeting. I think
Nice.
I thought, oh, I'm sorry, we wanted to do a discussion about, let's just do it very informal. Anybody,
Then let me stop the live stream if you want, no, there's.
let's stop it. We would be in executive session, but it's the same thing. Anybody,